Hi, my name is Brian Schmidt. I'm the curator at the West Pasco Historical Society. Today I'm going to give you a short little tour of our Native American collection. We have 4 exhibits in our Native American collection as a timeline. So we'll go one at a time. This is where our ancient peoples display is, dating all the way back to 14,000 BCE. So that's just the politically correct way of saying BC. It's before the Common Era. I wanted to point out in this display the Clovis Point. The Clovis Point is important because it was found in Clovis, New Mexico, inside a skeleton of a woolly mammoth, and so thereby dating it to the Ice Age. So it was a very important piece for a long time. Our next display is the Timucua. And in this display, it features a vessel that is 2,000 years old. They found this up near Ridgewood High School. And actually it was put back together by George Ferguson, who did a pretty good job. You can hardly see that it was broken into about 20 different pieces. The next area is the Tocobaga, which were the people that were here when the Europeans first explored. And we have a mound called the Olsner Mound by the locals. Martha Olsner there on the left, Dillian Armstrong on the right, her neighbor. And that mound still exists today on the Cody River. And what that mound is, different mounds have different things. Some were burial, some were for religious purposes, and others were basically just garbage refuse. And that's what this is. This is, here you can see what's inside. It's shells and sand and more shells. And the Tocobaga were very much seafood eaters, and so they generated a lot of shells, and basically they just put them in a mound, and then they use the mound for different things. Perhaps a chief would have his hut up there, or ceremonies. And then the final group is the Seminole Indian. And the Seminoles were the most recent tribe, and they were pushed in the 1830s during the Seminole Wars out of northern and central Florida down into the Everglades. And in the Everglades, a few of them survived, but after the wars were over, they came back and tried to assimilate back into the culture. And instead of in their old traditional ways, they made money through tourism. So they made these little palmetto dolls and purses, and then they also wore brightly colored clothing. This is patchwork clothing. That wouldn't have been something they normally wore, but to attract the tourists, specifically the tin can tourists that were coming down the Dixie Highway in the early 20s, they would get them to pull over to their stands. They would have different brightly colored clothing and have things at their stands, such as alligator wrestling, and then they could sell their different pottery and dolls and so forth. And that's how they made their living. So there you have it, our Native American section here at the Musunuru Museum in Newport Richey. Thank you.